Hi everyone, this is Shroomy, and in today's video you will get to learn a little bit about my life. So every year, on the 1st of February, there's this big online art challenge called Hourly Comic Day. And basically the point of the challenge is to document your life, hour by hour, in comic form. I have seen it a couple of times before, but it always caught me by surprise because I didn't realize that there was like a specific day, so I kept missing it. But this year I've actually managed to do it for the first time. So in this video you will see how I made my hourly comics, and also learn a little bit about what my life is like. It's not that exciting, but it was a fun day. Let's get started. My day started with waking up. I had fallen asleep by accident, which happens from time to time. So I did this thing where I'm like, yeah, I'll lie down for 5 minutes and then I'll get up and brush my teeth and then change into pajamas and do all the steps required to go to bed. Sometimes that leads to me just staying up forever because I'm too tired to do those things. And sometimes I just fall asleep. So the previous night, I had fallen asleep by accident. I was wearing my blanket hoodie so it wasn't cold. And sometimes when that happens and I wake up, then I try to go back to bed, but because it was already 11, I decided to just get up. The first thing I do when I wake up is take my thyroid medication. It needs to be taken on an empty stomach, and then you have to wait for half an hour to an hour for it to absorb before you can even start eating anything or drinking anything other than water. And I'm kind of groggy before it starts working. It usually takes me a while to start actually functioning, if I ever even get to the point. Anyway, eventually I made it out of bed, hygienated myself, and then went straight to Twitter because that's what my life consists of now. So then as I was browsing Twitter, while waiting for my brain to start working, I saw that people were making hourly comics. Then there was a tweet being like, hey, it's February. And I was like, wait, it's what? And then people were like, hey, it's February 1st, it's hourly comic day. And I was like, whoa, that thing? I want to do that too. And by that time it was already 2 p.m, but I was determined to make it work, even though I had a lot of appointments that day. So I couldn't actually draw every hour, so I just drew a few panels at a time. Some people do like proper comics, like nice pages and everything, but this was my first experience, so I decided to start small. The first one of those appointments was a session with my employment specialist. That was at 2 o'clock. And she's a person who works with the community mental health team in my city, as well as with the city council. It's kind of complicated. But basically it's a specialist service for people with more serious long-term mental health issues. And it's a long-term service, so they can support you in looking for work. And also, while you're working, they can also help. Like if you need any adjustments or if there's anything kind of bothering you work-wise, then they can help on that. And for me, she's helping me look for jobs, since I don't have a job other than freelance stuff right now. So some of the things she does is give me feedback on my applications. Then she also can look through job websites for me, so I don't have to do it all by myself. And she can also contact employers and stuff on my behalf, which is really helpful because I don't always have the spoons, and like, sometimes if I'm really depressed or if my mood is really low, then it's really difficult for me to contact people. Because first I just don't have the energy, but also I don't have the self-confidence and stuff. And that's when it's also really helpful because she can kind of take that pressure away from me. So usually what we do is I work on applications, which I find really difficult because it's just one of those activities that my ADHD brain finds really hard. But then having someone present there for accountability and putting kind of a time limit on it actually really helps. So I made some progress on an internship application, and she gave me some advice. We got up on some stuff that she talked about to people that she contacted for me. Then once the appointment finished, I stuck around a little bit and continued working on my application by myself. Then at around 4 p.m, I got tired, so I decided to take a break and work on these comics. After that, at 5, I had another call, this time with my mental health nurse, who is my care coordinator at the mental health service. At the moment we are working through something called DBT skills. DBT stands for Dialectical Behavioral Therapy, and this is the type of psychological therapy that is used for people who have very strong, overpowering emotions. DBT was originally invented by Marsha M. Linehan. She developed DBT as a result of her own experience of having borderline personality disorder. So DBT is a variant of CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, with elements of acceptance and mindfulness. And the difference actually is kind of elusive, but what my mental health nurse said is that basically CBT is more about fighting your negative thoughts and challenging them, and DBT is more about being mindful of them and learning to be less affected by them. So what we've been doing is learning various skills for regulating your emotions, and they've been really helpful to me. I'm already seeing progress after a few months of doing them. This week we did skills for tolerating painful events and emotions when you cannot make things better right away. And we covered 2 things. First is distract with wise mind accepts. Accepts is an abbreviation, of which there are many in DBT. So A stands for activities, such as exercising, hobbies, other things, just doing stuff. C stands for contributing to someone else's life, so it's like checking in with people, doing something nice with someone. Second C is comparisons. Comparing yourself to someone less fortunate than you, comparing yourself to people coping the same as you or less well than you. This might actually be kind of controversial because often people are told not to do that, because a lot of the time it can kind of diminish your own suffering, which is still valid, but in some cases it might be helpful. E stands for opposite emotions. So if you're feeling anxious, then you could read a book or watch a show that is calming. If you're feeling sad, then you could watch something funny or something sweet. Sometimes that helps. P is pushing away. Mentally leaving the situation, building an imaginary wall between yourself and the situation. Refusing to think about the painful aspects of the situation. Putting the pain on a shelf, in a box, and locking it away. T stands for other thoughts. Count to 10, do puzzles, watch TV, read, just be distracted. And S stands for sensations. Hold ice on your hand, have a cold drink or warm drink, listen to music, have a nice shower, and try to kind of ground yourself into those sensations and really savor them. I think stimming is really good for this. So this is Wise Mind Accepts. It's quite helpful in periods of intense stress, but it's counterproductive if that's all you do, which is important to remember. And then the second skill we covered is called Improve the Moment, improve being an abbreviation. And the idea of this skill is using imagination and creativity to replace negative events and thoughts with more positive ones. We only really got to cover the first letter, which is imagery. So for this one you could imagine relaxing scenes, whatever you find relaxing, going on a beach, sitting on a mountain, looking at a nighttime city. You could imagine a secret room within yourself. Imagine how it's decorated, what's inside it, how it makes you feel. And then you can go inside that room in your mind whenever you feel threatened or upset. You close the door on anything that can hurt you. Imagine coping well. Imagine hurtful emotions draining out of you like water out of a pipe. I quite like that idea. And then the last thing is kind of relevant to the current situation. One way to cope with stress is to imagine what you might do when things are better, when things are back to normal. And I have actually kind of been doing this without realizing, so I felt quite happy that it was actually a valid thing to do that is good for me. Anyway, then our call came to an end, and after that my friend called me. So I talked on Discord with my friend after that, and I told them about all the things that I just told you about. And then I decided to try out what I had just learned by chatting about what we're going to do once things are a little bit more normal. So you see, I am an introvert, and most of the time I'm quite satisfied being by myself and doing my hobbies, such as drawing things, making videos, stuff like that. But at the same time recently, I've been really struggling with being bored all the time. And if you know anything about having ADHD, then you will know that being bored is basically torture to an ADHD brain. But it's really weird because I do have a ton of hobbies and things I could do. I have jobs to apply for, I have my room that is a mess, I have all these games that I've not played. Really, there's plenty of activities that I could occupy my time with. And before the whole pandemic, sure, I had my down days, but I wasn't this chronically bored all the time. And recently I realized that I think the missing piece is external stimulation, and I think I really need that in my life. In the first lockdown, I was alone for about 3 weeks in the house and I got so depressed. I thought I was going to go crazy. So even though I'm an introvert, I do really like going to events in the city and seeing people, it energizes me, it makes me happy. And at the moment it's all stopped. Everything's dead. Like, I can't travel, I can't go on adventures. I can't even meet a friend for coffee or come over. And that really sucks, and I just can't deal with it, you know? What I definitely want to do is see people in real life and travel. I am so bored of being stuck in my city, especially since there's nothing happening in it. I don't know about moving someplace else, but I definitely am going to travel somewhere, anywhere, just not here. Anyway, at some point I got hungry, so I said goodbye to a friend and went to make some food, which was beans and toast. Next up, I had another call, this time with Neurodiversity and Disability Society from my uni, which I founded at one point. It was fun. We talked a lot about disability stuff and other random stuff. And then at 9, I checked my phone again and I realized that I had messed up. You see, I had some leaves fall off my cactus, and so I put the Monolia, which is an app that lets you share unneeded things with your neighbors. I'm quite active in it. It's really cute, it has achievements too. And I have somehow climbed up the ranks to the point that I'm listed as a champion in it now, which is like the coolest title. But it also has lots of different badges, kind of like in Scouts. It's great. Then it also shows you how much money and water and CO2 stuff you saved. And it also has a section with sustainable lifestyle tips and a forum. And recently they also added a section where you can buy stuff from your local artisans. Anything really from craft to food. Anyway, I had completely forgotten that someone was supposed to come at 7 to pick up these cacti that I had, that I wanted to give away. I was supposed to leave them outside my house, but I forgot because I got distracted. And I guess they didn't knock or anything and just left. And yeah. This has happened a couple of times, and I always feel so incredibly bad. It's not on purpose, I swear. It's just my non-existent attention span. I was planning to do it. I told myself to do it. But you see, the way my attention span works is, I will want to get something from downstairs, then I'll go downstairs and I don't remember what I was thinking about. So then I have to go back upstairs, then I remember, then I go back downstairs, I forget again, then I go back upstairs, I remember, then I go back downstairs, I forget again. My short-term memory is really bad, so sometimes this happens, and yeah, I was like, damn it. So I sent a message to the person and apologized and offered to deliver it to them instead, but they've not replied yet. I hope they don't hate me. So after that, being slightly dejected by that, I decided to draw the rest of these panels because I was super behind. And then I slapped on some color, and then I scanned them, and then I edited them a little bit inside too, and then I posted them, and then I was done. So that was one day of my life. To be honest, that was kind of a particularly busy one, which was good because it gave me more material to draw about, but it also made everything quite hectic. But I really enjoyed drawing these. I've actually been trying to figure out a good simplified version of my art style, specifically because I quite like to draw comics and I would like to do more, but I just couldn't figure out how to adapt my style to it. And for these I had to be really quick because I had no time to do them, and I think I did pretty good considering. So I'm really happy with how it's going, and I think I will be drawing more comics in the future as well. And then I figured that I would make a video out of it because I like making videos, so yeah. Thank you for sticking around and listening to me ramble on about my life. I hope you're all well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye! I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this, you can subscribe to my channel for more artsy videos like this one. You can also like this video and share it with your friends and loved ones. It would really mean a lot to me. On my channel, I often use art to illustrate all kinds of conversations, such as social justice matters. You can view my series on internalized ableism through the link in the description. I also make pure art videos, review art supplies, and play around with art challenges. If this sounds up your alley, then you are most welcome to be my subscriber. Thanks again for watching, this was Shroomy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!